good view of your ass too.
There you go. And we're here.
Episode 1
Episode 1.
of a predetermined to be named someday podcast. Right?
We're open for
We'll get
suggestions.
there. Yeah.
Is what we're saying.
Yeah, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. So, basically, what we're here to talk about is our life as dads.
Yeah.
Right? By no means are we experts.
Nope, I haven't read any books yet.
No books.
No degrees.
No degrees.
Just a lot of field experience.
Don't know if our kids are going to be successful yet. So,
Yeah.
work in progress. With that being said, we're going to want to talk about our experience as fathers, just from different walks of life, how our households are differently, and what we share experience, and maybe you guys share some of the same things. So, to get started, we'll tell you a little about who we are. I'm Josh, 33 years old. I'm a firefighter. I have 3 kids, ages 10, 7, 2. Had to confirm that earlier just to make sure. I'm married. All this information was confirmed.
Good to know. You put the ring on and everything. You're like,
I was like,
it's definitely mine.
This is it. I'm married for 7 years. Been with my wife for closer to 11 now. A little bit about me.
I'm Tim. I have 2 kids, and depending on what day you might find out, one of them is 5 or 15, depends on how he wakes up. And then I just had a newborn. He is 1 month old. So 2 boys. I didn't get lucky and get a girl. So I am married. I've been with my wife for 8 years, and we've been together. Sorry, I have to check the time. 13 years. Long ass time.
I thought you were going to the second too. That was impressive.
I was nope.
Okay.
I don't even remember the numbers.
All
I was got them all tattooed on my hand over here off camera so everyone can see them. And let's see. Oh, what are we doing? I used to be a high school teacher. I'm now a stay-at-home dad because my wife makes disgustingly more money than a teacher would. So all you teachers out there, feel my pain, and I feel yours.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the stay-at-home dad life for a few more years, and I'll probably go back to the slave market, the teacher slavery union. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a tough decision. We'll see if you actually go back after you get comfortable.
Yeah,
at
stay
home.
tuned.
So that'll be a follow up.
Yeah.
We'll come back to
Where
this
is
in a
he
few
now?
years. Yeah.
Still on the couch.
Yeah.
Great.
I did forget to mention, Tim has 2 boys. That's correct. I have 2 girls and a boy. So the oldest is a girl, the middle's a boy, and my baby girl is a baby girl.
She is a baby girl. Sometimes she's a little bit bigger than a baby girl.
She is a big baby girl.
Yes,
she ain't no baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we want to cover first in our episode 1, as you read the opening prompt there, very highly efficiently produced.
Yeah, we put a lot of marketing into this.
Yeah. As you see, we're on a limited budget early, but we're working on it. We're going to talk about pre-dad stuff. Life before a dad, right? What to include of meeting our spouse, the pregnancy, what that was like for us, the different things that entail. Is it what we expected or not? So we'll talk a little about that. So we'll get started.
Yeah. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
My kid's oldest, so I'll go first.
I feel like you're going to be holding that over me for a while.
Yeah, so
because I will always be older.
Unless you know some technology I don't.
Not yet.
Okay, so
Age that boy right into college.
So my first child, right, was Bella.
Mm-hmm.
I met my wife way long time ago. We actually grew up together. So it's a little bit of it's not your typical
We fell in love?
Yeah, it's forever. No, we just knew each other. But we dated seriously as adults. We were 21. We both were kind of living the party life in the club, doing our thing, that kind of stuff. Reconnected, got together then. Dated for about a year before she actually got pregnant. Was not planned. Did not take the proper steps not to get pregnant either.
Surprise!
So there's a little bit of responsibility to be had there.
Yes.
But once that moment came and found out she was pregnant, for me, it wasn't a scary thing because I always kind of felt like I was going to be a father at some point. I don't know if at that point I was 100% ready to be a father, but I was always in the mindset that one day I do want to have a family.
Okay.
So finding out the pregnancy did kind of jumpstart or fast track that process a little bit. Just having to change how I thought about, being a single person, essentially taking care of myself, to now going to be a father
Yep.
at some point. So
It's a big step.
yeah, that's the start of where my fatherhood first began. So, Tim.
Mine is more typical.
Okay.
It has some bumps in the road. There's funny stories and stuff, but we knew each other in high school. My wife and I knew each other in high school. We did not date.
Mm-hmm.
We just hang out, just kind of like you and yours. We met again in our 20s. I think she was 21. I'm a couple years older than her.
Okay.
Robbing the cradle,
Yep.
Gotta keep them young.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was 23, and we went out together a couple of times, and she decided that I was acceptable, I think
Okay.
is the word that she would use.
Yeah,
at the time.
she didn't know you were going to be a teacher.
No,
Yeah.
she did not.
Okay,
actually.
fair enough.
She was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So went through a lot of trials, tribulations. We got married, and then we decided to have kids. So it wasn't a surprise for
Okay.
us. We actually planned to have a child.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
Well, there's no wrong way to have a baby.
That's true.
I think actually it takes a little bit more of a bigger person to just be like, oh, well, I guess now I'm being a dad.
Right, sure.
Than it is to be like, well, this is a conversation that we had for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we were ready, and the baby was basically free, which was a big factor for us.
Yeah.
Money's tight when you're young, so you're like the reason the baby was free is my wife was in a residency to be a doctor, and so during residency, the OBGYN, or the person who like takes care of our baby, basically did all of our tests and stuff for free. So we got really lucky with that.
Damn.
Yeah, we're still paying bills for our second son, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that first one, man, he was cheap. It was great.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it wasn't as big of a shock because we were trying.
Right.
If anything, we were more shocked about how easily it was to do because her parents had fertility problems.
Oh.
My mom didn't get pregnant until she was like 40,
Yeah.
so like we didn't know if everything worked down there. I mean, obviously we tried,
Right.
but it worked. So.
Yeah. And how old were you at your first pregnancy?
Oh God, I got some questions I have to do math for.
Yeah.
I think I was 29.
Okay.
29 first birth.
All right. So she'd been a couple years younger.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Good. That's a good fertile window. So.
Yeah.
Very good.
We weren't worried about that kind of stuff. It was more like her mom was told she can't have kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then she had my wife Nikki at 40 something, 39, something like super late.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we can't have kids. It's just who cares? Let's pull and pray, and then now they have baby.
There it is. All right. So
All good stories.
all good. So that's where we started. So fast forward now, right? We're together.
Okay.
You were trying. I
Yep.
wasn't, right?
Yep.
Honey, I'm
You
pregnant.
were trying. I wasn't.
Right. Honey, I'm pregnant. What's that moment like?
Oh God. So for us, it was obviously different. I'm sure from you
Mhm.
because my wife was not only excited to tell me,
Mm-hmm.
she made it a game
Ooh.
where we were living in a different house than we live in now. We lived in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember exactly what room in the house it was. It was a tiny house. That's probably in the kitchen because that's usually where made men go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cooking dinner,
Yeah.
whatever.
There you go.
And she came in, recorded me, and said, "Hey, babe, I got something to tell you." And then put the pregnancy test in front of me. And I was like, "No way!" And of course, that's all on camera now, so that's
Mhm.
great.
Mhm.
Eternalized forever in the digital world.
Yep.
I'm sure we can find that for a later blooper.
Mm-hmm.
But I was excited and then immediately terrified.
Okay.
Those I was like, "Oh, this is great." Wait a second, now it's real.
Right.
Kind of moments. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. So I have no idea how she told me the first when she was pregnant.
What?
It's been 11 years. I'm not sure.
That's fair.
I can tell you where we were in the situation.
Yeah.
I was living. I had an apartment in Castleton. I was living there.
Remember that apartment?
I believe she was still at home at the time because she was in school as well.
Mhm.
So she was living at home. She found out she was pregnant. She tells me, I'm like, okay, good, not a big deal. Like,
Oh, really?
Let's figure this out. Yeah.
No shock at all.
I wasn't because, like I said, I wasn't using no kind of preventatives.
No contraceptives.
Yeah, no
Yes,
preventatives.
yes.
So it wasn't a shock.
Got it.
But it was more so. I was like, okay, well, I guess you're moving in because
Oh yeah.
we're gonna be a family now.
Well,
we're doing this.
I've met
We're doing
your wife's mom.
Yeah.
How did that conversation go?
this. Not so good for her, to be honest. She wasn't too pleased at the moment because obviously, with her being a mother, she understands that.
Oh yeah.
Schooling and you're trying to do all these other things. You're still young. We're 21.
Everything goes off the track.
Off the track. So in her mind, it's like, oh man, are these kids really gonna do this? So she's kind of a little upset about it. But ended up moving in with me. It was like, okay, this is gonna work out. Was living in a 1-bedroom at the time. Immediately started thinking, this ain't gonna work. And I was on the 3rd floor. I was like, pregnant woman finna be going up 3 flights of steps. So that was another motivation.
So considerate of you.
So considerate. That was my first thought. So
gotta get me a ground floor.
gotta get me ground level here. Gotta get ground level. But that's basically how I found out in the start of everything and things like that. So then the next step is, I guess, what was pregnancy like for us?
Yeah.
So
it was something. Actually, what really wasn't something? The first kid is not, personally, is not hard, right? Because you're still basically independent up until that point, until that baby comes out. So like,
that's a good point.
as a guy, my responsibility came to like, if Nikki needed anything done, I did it. Okay. But besides that, all I was really doing was preparing like mentally to have a child. Like I wasn't physically changing. I wasn't like, I didn't struggle to get up 3 flights of stairs the entire pregnancy. Lord knows. Right. And so for me, it was more like just being a support role and then just kind of coasting where I was. I didn't try to make any big changes in my life at that time, but that was it. Honestly, the first one was not like that. The second one, vastly different. Vastly different. 1, because you know what's coming.
Right. 2,
because there's already a little person running around that you're responsible for. So like everything becomes twice as hard. Like all of the little changes that I made are just like tidal waves now coming through the house, because you know how children love change. They love it.
Yeah, they're so understanding.
They are. They're very forgiving.
Yeah, they love giving up their extra time with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
future leaders.
Yeah. So that first pregnancy was pretty good. Nikki would say that her pregnancy was, I want to say the pregnancy for Ben, my first child, was way better than her pregnancy with our second child.
Okay.
And then she would say that the delivery, so like actually getting to delivery, we'll go back to that, but that was different. But she got to go on walks, she still worked, she did all this kinds of stuff. Well, all we really did was buy a bassinet.
Yeah. That's good.
But we didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know.
You didn't know the storm that was.
Yeah, you didn't know. So, okay, my first experience with the pregnancy, was it what I thought? No.
Okay.
But it wasn't a bad thing either. I would say, to describe our pregnancy, we essentially over-prepared.
Really?
I think we thought...
Built a bomb shelter, huh?
Yeah, everything's going to be, everything's going to be worse than what it is. It's like... You got the plastic things in the socket. Make sure that.
Oh yeah.
You got to buy those
socket covers. Yeah,
8 months.
Like 8,000 of them too.
8 months before the baby's born, because he's gonna come out and walk to the socket immediately. That was.
And they drool a lot, so that's dangerous.
Yeah. So that was like one of the first things.
Baby proofing the house. Yes.
I think we researched bottles and what they put in bottles and
put in bottles.
Yeah, like what is this made of? Like
What is this made?
Yeah, is this safe to drink out of?
No, it's just all cancer.
Yeah, I'm like, is this gonna hurt the child? I'm cracking a beer. Like, I wouldn't put that in my body. Like, you know what I mean?
You're right.
So we like over prepared, and then oh god, the registry. I think we put some of the most outrageous thing on these registries that I look back on. I'm like, that was unnecessary.
That was unnecessary.
I was so unnecessary.
Oh my god!
And the biggest one, the biggest, most unnecessary
thing. Yes, I want
thing.
to do this. Yes. What is the most unnecessary
that
thing
we bought pre-pregnancy?
Yes.
All right, you're not gonna believe me, and you guys might agree or don't. A crib.
Okay. Yeah.
We used the crib.
The full size crib.
The full size
crib. Bassinet.
No.
Yes.
No. The bassinet playpen is probably the best investment.
Yes.
The crib itself, the full size, the little spinning things around waste of money. Number one, I think my child got in that maybe 4 times in their life, or maybe a couple hours at a time.
God.
And then they wake up and say, I need to be closer to you. So
yeah.
What was the point? The playpen bassinet, much more efficient. But for me, the crib, and it took up freaking half the room. It's bigger than our bed.
Yeah.
So what was yours?
It was. We spent. Oh my god. So some people will know what I'm about to tell you, and some people will have only heard about it in rumor. Right. We bought a very special bassinet. We spent, part of our mortgage on this bassinet. It was expensive. It's called a snoo. You ever heard of this?
No.
Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
it's rated by medical doctors.
Okay.
So of course my wife was like, "Oh, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
Gotta get it now."
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is it's supposed to replicate the sounds that the baby hears in the stomach. I don't know how anyone can possibly know that. And it shakes them a little bit based on like if they're sad, so it's supposed to soothe them, and it straps them down with a little straitjacket. And it was expensive, and he hated it, and I hated it because I didn't feel like it didn't. It was we bought it for the peace of mind, basically. Like we know we can't roll over, and it's supposed to put him back to sleep so we don't get up as much. Well, I was up all the goddamn time.
Right.
It did nothing. I hated it, and then we bought it again
Oh,
for our other kid after I had already expressed. It said,
down.
well, she doubled down.
Yeah.
She's like, it was used this time. I was like, oh, great, only part of my kidneys. Like, no, none of it. And we're using it right now, and I don't think it works. So,
goodness,
worst possible thing we could have bought. Oh my God.
So if we could offer our unqualified advice,
yes,
your crib first baby, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
I'm not going to tell you not to get one.
Yes.
But do not go into like the depths of Google and all that other stuff and find you a crib you're probably not going to use that much, honestly.
No.
They sleep for a couple hours, then they're up with you. That's it.
Yeah.
If that.
So, but little off topic there, but good topic.
Yeah, I like
so
it. I like
back to the pre stuff, right? So that was the registry.
That was the registry.
Baby shower. Let's talk about that first one.
Oh, okay. So we lived in Tennessee, so we had to come back, and I think her parents hosted it, or one of her friends hosted. This is getting a little fuzzy because I was not into this either, because the registry is a nightmare, as we've already discussed. So showing up and having all these things that you didn't really need was also not great. And I don't know why it's an unspoken rule that guys don't go to the baby shower, but I could not get anyone to come to mine. It was me and 26 other women, most of which were my family and her friends. So it was something. We did, and those games, like, who can put a diaper on a doll the fastest? Or, there was another one. There was another one that was like involved a blindfold and spinning around. I was like, I like games. I like playing games.
Your gender card.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Yeah. What do you think it is? There was one cool thing that we did at the baby shower, or the shower, that was nice. We found this thing where you buy like a pack of one-size diapers, and people write stuff on the diapers so you can read them in the morning when you're exhausted and you're like, you want to kill this kid, and you open it up and his diaper said, well, shit happens, and you're like, all right, I kind of had that kind of.
Are these handwritten notes?
Yes, exactly.
So they're putting the permanent marker inside the diaper to put on the baby.
Yes.
Oh, that's genius.
Yes. So
that'll go well.
It didn't leave any stains, but they are enjoying. They're enjoyable. It was great.
That's funny.
So we did all that. Too much stuff. Just too much stuff.
Way too much stuff.
No, honestly, pro tip, if you're going to have a baby shower, just ask for diapers. You need so many diapers, and you do not need 6 different rattles.
No.
Because you're going to lose at least half of them, and the other half he's not going to like.
No.
So, and you're going to end up buying stuff for anyway.
True.
Another thing, our baby shower, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did not know that we were having a boy.
Oh.
So a lot of our stuff was gender neutral, which basically meant that we didn't use it. Because when he was born, we were like, oh, we got to get him some boy stuff now. Like, we got to get him some dinosaurs and some dragons and some stuff like that. And like, what is this little hippo? We don't care about that. Bye. So we basically rebought a lot of the registry stuff that was gendered instead. So.
No, that's good. So that's good. So for our first baby shower, right?
And you've done this
3?
Several.
Yes. Not all baby showers are created equal.
Thank God.
I tell you that right now. With that being said, my wife, she's not, what's the word? She's not uptight by any means. She's not fancy or anything like that, but she does appreciate her crafts and style when it comes to those kind of things.
Yes.
So this was a production. At the time, she was working at the YMCA, so we actually rented out one of their rooms at the YMCA and had it in like this big old room. And I mean, it was probably 100 people invited. I mean,
really?
It was at least 100 people invited. Maybe 50 showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that. But
it's kind of like a wedding.
Yeah.
You invite more people, you know they're not going to come.
And for me, I'm the kind of person, like, if I don't talk to at least you know, twice a month.
Yeah.
3 to 4 times a
Why
month.
are you coming to my baby
Yeah,
shower?
there's no reason for me to invite you, but no, everybody and their mama got an invite to this thing.
They come out for the babies.
Everything. And I mean, I don't remember everything about it. I just remember this big old room, bunch of kids, and like you were saying, way too many gifts, like way too much stuff. And it was like, at the time we thought we needed all this stuff.
Yeah.
And
You convince yourself.
yeah, and in reality it was like, so as kids progress, we've corrected that.
Yeah,
that need.
You downsize.
But at the time, man, you think, man, I'm definitely gonna use this bottle warmer. You're like,
Yeah.
I have a microwave. What?
Oh my god.
What am I?
You're gonna hear it in the comments for that one.
Yeah.
'Cause I had that argument with my
Mhm.
wife 2 days ago. I was
Mhm.
like, I can microwave this in 30 seconds. She's like, it leaves hot spots. The baby could burn his
Oh.
tongue. Blah blah blah. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess we'll use this bottle warmer that takes 7 minutes to warm up a bottle while
And it's
he
a cruel world.
screams
You
at
know, it's a cruel world. Gotta prepare
Yeah,
him early.
right. Yeah, you ain't gonna die from
Yeah, a
it.
little burnt
It's gonna
tongue.
be like, oh,
Yeah.
can't taste on that side anymore. It's all right.
Lesson learned.
The left side's good.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. So the baby shower it was fun at the time. You know, it was. But
Yeah.
the one thing I remember, if you remember, maybe it's not. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. What's the number one question you kept getting from people during this pregnancy?
Oh well, aside from the what is it
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yep.
it was the name.
Okay.
The name definitely is probably up there.
Okay.
And how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel
Mhm.
about it? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
as a millennial man, you
Mhm.
know, my feelings are not the top priority in most people's lives. So when they ask me, I'm like kind of like in the road, shocked,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I don't really have an answer
Yeah.
prepared for
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I just say, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I got a lot of that. Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Are you nervous? And it's always no. I mean,
No.
I'm good.
What does nervous help? How does that help you?
Yeah, we'll figure
What
this
do you
out. I
think
mean,
about it?
we're men. We figure stuff out.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do, right? So
Yeah.
it was never like an in-depth answer of, oh, you know, today I feel this on the
Yeah,
scale. Like,
Yeah, you have
nah.
the freaking smiley chart. You
Yeah,
go
like
down,
the
I'm
doctor's
feeling
office and
anxious
stuff.
today.
And could you imagine really giving that answer and seeing some reaction? Like you get
Yeah.
a full drawn out explanation
Yeah.
of your feelings, and people are like,
Slowly back away like you're
"That's
crazy.
yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for." Like
That's how you get uninvited.
that's exactly how you
Think
get
about
it.
it. Just, no, I don't want you to. I don't need you here anymore.
Yeah, that was a big one for me too, man. That was a big one. Yeah, I think that was the main one. We got some name questions too, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was the main one. Another thing during pregnancy that I think a lot of men experience, I know all women do. What was the strange craving
Oh
that
yeah.
your wife had, or even maybe something you adopted during this thing?
No, purple Gatorade, man.
Mm.
So we lived on a street in Tennessee, right? And it was a block and a half. Maybe a block and a half to the nearest gas station. I must have walked that at like 3 o'clock in the morning
Mhm.
in my pajamas. Lord knows, at least 20, 30 times
Mhm.
to go get purple Gatorade,
Mhm.
specifically the grape Gatorade, right?
Yeah.
Not none of that like off-brand, like the Frost or the
No.
low calorie. It had to be exactly purple Gatorade. I mean, and obviously there was like ice cream and other stuff that was
Yeah.
adopted. Mine was what did I want? Beef jerky. Weirdly
Okay.
enough, like
Well,
I don't know why. I think it may be because I was in a gas station.
I
was
know
like,
why.
why?
You were having a boy.
Yeah.
You were getting manlier by the minute.
Yeah, I
That's
needed
what
it.
it
I was
was.
like, oh, I could
Yeah.
feel my chest hairs
You
rising.
didn't know you were having a boy, but that was your
Yeah,
intuition.
my testicles did.
There you go.
Let's
Just
go get some
talking to
beef.
you. Mm.
My beef. Ugh. But yeah, it was definitely purple Gatorade was hers, and then yeah, I think that was the only one.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go help get out of the way for anything crazy like cross town
That's good.
special ice cream pizza order.
That's good. Yeah.
What about yours?
No, her first craving, she never had anything too crazy. The one that sticks out to me was Sprite.
Right.
She loved the Sprite, but it wasn't just any Sprite. I mean, yeah, the canned stuff was good, but if you can get a McDonald's, fountain Sprite,
yeah.
the fountain Sprite,
yeah.
one's basically acid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
They load it up.
Yeah, load it up. You got a stain you need to burn out. Put that on it. She could 24 ounces. You know what I mean? And in my head, I'm like, you're about to wake the baby up. That's gotta. But
Yeah, there's so many bubbles in that.
Yeah,
one.
oh my
No,
goodness.
there's no way.
No, the Sprite was her thing, and for me, I don't really think I developed a thing. At least I don't remember developing a real craving thing like that. But
Yeah.
but her Sprite for sure was was a staple in the first.
Now, did it
pregnancy.
change? Did you get different cravings with the other two, or did she even have cravings?
I want to say no. She goes through phases, man. It's really hard. I can't remember what the other two were. The Sprite stuck out the most to me, and I guess maybe I don't remember as much because and something we're also going to talk about down the road is the difference of the first pregnancy, then having pregnancy with a child already.
Yeah.
So your mind's kind of really it's
gone.
It's flattered.
Yeah, you're basically in a retirement home at that point.
Yeah. So yeah, that was for me. That was she didn't really have any night cravings. Didn't ask me to run across.
That was the thing.
road
If we did not have Gatorade in the house, she would kick me out of bed and be like, "I need Gatorade."
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
And
And
I'd be all deep and manly, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna leave before I get beat."
that's true. No, I get
With
so.
quickness.
And at the time too, I think at the time I was working a lot too. She was pretty considerate of that. So she never really asked me to do anything crazy during the pregnancy.
What were you doing during the first one?
So the first one, actually, I worked at a gym, right? I was working on getting my personal trainer's license.
Oh yes.
But at the time, I was a membership sales rep, so I was selling gym memberships
Oh yummy.
at the time. Oh God, that was long hours of just
Pretending to like you.
brutal. Yeah, brutal. I mean, calling people, convincing them why they should have a gym membership.
Like,
For
do you want to be
overpriced.
healthy or not?
Yeah, overpriced gym membership.
Oh,
And this is the time when like Planet Fitness is blowing up.
Oh.
We're $50 a pop. I'm like, yeah, this is miserable. So wasn't happy at that point in my career, but I had the kid on the way, so
Yep.
so that was the
Got your
focus.
money.
So what were you doing during the pregnancy?
I was a preschool teacher.
Preschool.
So I have taught for a long time, right?
Okay.
Always in different walks of life. So I was teaching the little kids, and then maybe that was why it was so like surreal to have my own. I was like, I feel like I've basically been raising kids for like my entire adult life. I have had some type of child in my care, from camp counselor to preschool teacher to high school teacher. Like, just I've seen them all. At this point, and so finally I had my own going on. But my career is not super important to me as a man, which I know can be conflicting to other people, but that's just a very small part of who I am, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so it didn't really affect me a whole lot having the pregnancy, and I wasn't like, I gotta work to make sure that I could provide for this baby, because even then, Nikki made way more money than I did.
I'm sure.
Preschool teachers also don't get paid very well.
No, that's
Shout out
that's
to your
true.
congressman.
Yeah, send a letter. No, that's awesome. So that's definitely different aspects of what it was for the working side for you and for being the primary provider for me. So that's definitely a different mindset.
Yeah, you had to buckle down. I had to unbuckle.
There you go. Get ready for the dad bod.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, what do you think about finishing up on this question?
Okay.
All right. What was the most surprising thing
During the pregnancy.
for you?
All right. So for me, at the time, I don't think I was that surprised by basically anything, and I think that's because as your wife is a medical professional, she looked up any bad thing that could have possibly happened. So there was no surprise that was worse than like, oh, your baby just died overnight,
Right.
So like, if someone's up and she's like, oh my God, I have cramps, and we're like, well, she's not dying, and our child is alive, then it's gotta be better, right? I will say in hindsight, I think that the most shocking thing was how little people cared about me and my mental health, and more about her, because she's the one carrying it. It's obvious that she's pregnant, and you're very obviously not pregnant. So it's kind of like, what are you doing for her, and no one really asks what they're doing for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good
Which is
point.
kind of weird, because like I feel like in our modern society, men and women, right, that raise a child together need to be cared for equally. Maybe I'm not going to say equally, because women do need more help, because carrying around 40, 50 extra pounds of weight to support this baby.
Right.
But the man cannot be cut out and just expected to survive.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That is true. Like, it is her focus, which she has grown the child 100%. So it makes sense. And the question is, how's your wife doing? How's she handling the pregnancy?
It's never happened
like that. Correct. You're right. And that's kind of just being a man in society.
Yep.
In a sense, like, and that's kind of the role we adopted in the sense that, you know what, buckle down, figure it out. You know, and that's stuff we figure out as we go along. With that being said, I think for me, at the time, I didn't really understand what it was. I knew you were getting bigger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But it was just, that's what it was. You're going to make the baby, I'm going to go to work. So
Yep.
it's kind of hard to really think about it. Looking back on it, I think the most impressive thing to me after seeing a bunch of pregnant things like that, and you can kind of test this too, because, you know, Nikki was in residency, things like that, is my wife worked basically until the birth.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I remember.
Until the birth. I mean, and it wasn't a sit on your butt kind of job. She was working the while, caring for other kids, things like that. So it's a lot of movement. And at the time, you really don't notice it, and you don't really see how hard that can be.
No.
You really don't appreciate it as much. I'm sure I didn't appreciate it as much. But looking back 3 kids in now, knowing what it's like to deal with that full version of
Oh,
them,
absolutely.
you could look back and imagine and say, man, that's impressive. Like, that is impressive. So,
right? Yeah. If I woke up one day and I was just like, man, I'm feeling heavy.
Yeah.
I don't think I would feel the urge
Yeah.
to go just, man, I just got to keep moving.
Yeah. A
Can't stop,
bad
won't stop.
hangover would keep me on the couch.
No.
So that, and
No.
we're not dealing with that's just morning sickness that goes away.
That's a
So
good point.
that was impressive for me. But yeah, that was the start of
Something beautiful.
the family.
Right.
The family. So yeah, what do you think?
I think, good start.
Yeah.
This is a good start.
Yeah.
This is a good start. Us is a good start.
Yeah.
Everything's about beginnings. That first episode is all about beginnings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I'm definitely going to go home and appreciate my wife after what you just said.
Yeah, that's
Like,
awesome.
you know what I didn't realize about you going to work while you were pregnant?
That's
Because she
something.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, she did.
Yeah.
Worked her butt off.
Yeah.
It gets easier to do in your 20s than it is your 30s, that's for
Ooh,
sure.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Mm.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's been episode 1, pre-dad stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, comment.
Yeah.
Any questions, suggestions, comments? We love to hear it.
Oh, love to hear it.
We're
We need
just-
to hear it.
Yeah.
We're very vain.
Yeah.
We need the feedback.
We're 2 dads trying to figure it out as we go. So
yeah.
appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. See ya.